Welcome to another episode of The Raw Truth. As always, I'm your host, BX Badboy. Today, we're going to start off with reading my notes about Trump, the N-word, stimulus package. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's start with my notes. I've started doing something. I write down a few things I want to discuss. And we'll start off with Trump and his bullshit $2,000 package. Now, as I wrote in my notes, Trump only wants a $2,000 offer. Bill was passed to make him look good. That's all it is. Because he knew that Mitch McConnell was going to block it. Let's just get that straight out of the picture. So don't give him some fucking props that he's on our side, because he's not. It makes him look good, because like you think it makes him some kind of awesome dude. Because he decided to say $2,000. So for those of you who cheer his $2,000 and try to give him props like he came up with it, the House passed that shit 6 months ago. And he did absolutely nothing till the last fucking minute. So he's not doing the stimulus package wanting it to be $2,000 because he really gives a fuck. Don't care. And he realizes it's not his money. So of course he's going to try to give it to us if it makes him look good. Should have been making him look good and give it $2,000 for the rest of his term. But he knows in January 20th he's done. That's why he called the senator and the secretary of the fucking Georgia and tried to coerce them into giving him votes that don't exist and getting rid of votes that do exist that aren't for him. So don't give him props, please don't. Do I appreciate it if it got passed? But he added 2 more stipulations, that were gonna block it. That it had to get rid of 230, which protects tech companies from any liability for whatever I say or you say online, which is fucking idiotic. They're gonna suppress the shit out of us even more than they already do if you get rid of 230, because they're liable. So if you post anything ignorant, negative, nasty, could cause some controversy that will come back their way that I can sue them over, guess what they're going to do? They're going to remove you, which means they're going to remove Donald Trump. So Donald Trump's trying to get back at them by removing protections to freedom of speech on their platforms. Okay, that makes sense. This is my point. He's a fucking idiot. So he wanted that and another investigation into fraud that he still hasn't proved 1 ounce of. And the only fraud that has been proven was Trump supporters voting under their dead relatives for Trump. There's not been any proof that the Democrats cheated. And when they do, then I'll go with it. I don't think either one should cheat. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm not an independent, I'm just a common sense. And we're better off without Trump as a whole in this country. Now, all his base and followers, no, he's better off in office for them because he looks out for them. He doesn't look out for everyone else. You know, like segregation. He only looked out for his own kind, and in this case would be his supporters. So of course his supporters think he should stay in office because he supports them, but not the rest of us. And there's more of us than there are of you. So now we're going to move on. And the next step I want to move on to is the N-word. Now, I grew up in the South Bronx for most of my life. So I grew up around mostly black, Spanish, and, as they call them, minorities. So I grew up using that word, just like they did. But I didn't use that word on everyone and anyone. There were certain people that was accepted on, because they knew it wasn't used in any derogatory sense. It was like one brother saying what's up to another, and I was accepted as one of them, allowed to use it with them and them only. So if me and my other brothers, which happen to be black and or Spanish, we used it back and forth on a regular basis. But some stranger, I wouldn't dare use it on him. And not because I'm afraid of getting hit with a twisted T. Not worried about that. But there's no point disrespecting somebody who doesn't respect what I gotta say. I've got friends, I can tell them go fuck themselves, and they'll laugh and move on. Then I got other people I know, if I say go fuck themselves exactly the same way, they get offended. Oh my God, you cursed at me. Oh my goodness. You got to know who can and can't talk to, how you talk to them. So, as I put in my notes, it doesn't matter. Oh. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes I write sloppy. The N-word with an A or an ER doesn't matter. You can't just say it to just anyone. Though it should never be said to begin with, but the last ones that should ever say it are white people. And it's true. And yes, I'm white. I know. Shocker. My brothers accepted it, so between me and them, we used it. Okay? And then it became played out because it was an ignorant conversation or ignorant speech. So we stopped using it so much. Now and again, we still use it, but that's between us. I don't use it in normal conversation because it's not accepted by everyone. Like, I can make black jokes with my friends and family that I'm close to, and they'll giggle and take it as a stereotypical joke. Just like when they make white jokes. I take it as a stereotypical joke, which isn't being racist, we're just playing with the stereotype, showing how pathetic it is. And we'll both laugh and not get offended. But that same joke will be offending someone else who doesn't think it's funny because we don't have that rapport. Same thing with that word. Now, let's move on. Spoke with someone after a TikTok vid and saw no problem with a white boy saying it to a black male in a public while him out blind-eyed to either the N-word is stupid. So what I was stating in that statement, that same TikTok video where the gentleman got hit in the face with the twisted tea for calling him the N-word, amongst other things, further disrespect, calling the guy a clown. Someone I spoke to said didn't even pay any attention, like coasted over the N-word. You only did that because he called him a clown. No, not at all. You need to realize what he did. Both. He called him the N-word and a clown. And yeah, he was using it in the slang term, but he didn't know that gentleman, so he shouldn't have done it. And he was white, makes it even worse. So, if you see that whole video, there's another section where he's pounding the guy in the face and repeating the word, say that, call me that again. Call me that again, as he's pounding his face into the ground. So if it was all about clown, he would have said clown, not the N-word. But my friend, associate, person I know, glazed over the word because he grew up in the ghetto just like I did, and he saw nothing wrong with it. But that's blind ignorance. Even when I say between me and my brothers, I get it. I know what it is. But me and my brothers don't take it that way, so we speak to each other that way. So, as I go on to further state, just because you live in the ghetto and have black friends doesn't give you a license to go around saying it. Just because I have black friends that accept us going back and forth using that word in our way, it doesn't authorize me to go around to other black people or anyone in that manner and using the words. It just doesn't work that way. One license between friends does not authorize a license with another one. Like if my brothers let me date their sisters, that doesn't mean I can date everybody's sister. Yes, I said it just that way because when you have a male friend, you get their permission and concerns out of the picture before you date their sister. It's called respect. Like you ask the father, may I date your daughter? In my lifetime, it's you ask the son or brother because the father always says no. And yes, I'm a father and I agree. if some girl, some guy was trying to date a daughter of mine or a sister, um, yeah, I'm gonna give you a no. So you're best asking one of your brothers or friends that you call brother and asking their permission before you take any steps forward. Now, going to my other notes, package update, Mitch is still trying to sabotage the bill, keeping the 2000 away from us in need. He purposely put in those poison pills, and everybody in the news, including Fox, is calling it poison pills because the Democrats aren't going to vote yes to more investigations and to um, um, the stupid 230 thing. Though they should, because an investigation is not going to go anywhere. Let them investigate. Let them go around in circles. The only problem I have with the investigation, and I spoke to one of my other Republican friends, and I mentioned that because they're on the side of Republicans that are on the side of Trump. So she even agrees. It's fucked up because why should I, the taxpayer, have to pay for you, the sore loser, to prove how much of a sore loser you are and try to delay the inevitable? Why do I have to pay for that? You pay for that shit. So I go on to another subject. Everyone following Trump is following Trump to overturn the election, just don't want to lose. Bullies will try every way they can to win, even break laws, or bullied are too weak to fight back for justice because they are scared. Now, I just wrote that recently. It's still gibberish, but it's still true what I just said, and I'll explain it. Now, Trump is a bully. No way around it. He tried to bully the GOP. He bullies everyone that disagrees with him. He's just a fucking bully. Now, I spent many days with bullies, either as friends or as enemies or as people trying to bully me, not very successful. Now, if they can't get your lunch money by scaring you, they find another way. They keep going no matter what rule they break. I had a bully once to try to get my lunch money and I wouldn't give it to him. He tried to kick in my ass and he didn't win. Do you know I went back to my locker and guess what was missing? My lunch money. So since he couldn't beat it out of me or steal it from my hand, he went back to my locker and went through my stuff. And in school at the time I was going to, you weren't allowed to bring your book bag in class. You're only allowed to bring your books. So you had to leave everything in the goddamn locker. Now, from that point on, I got the money in my pocket and I got my fucking lunch money back. Let's just say that. So Trump has tried to bully his way by first starting off saying it's corrupt, but still telling people to vote in Georgia. You can't be corrupt or not corrupt, fraud, and still tell somebody to go for it anyway. It's a contradiction. So that failed. He tried to force investigation after investigation, figuring that he had the court stacked with all the conservative Republicans. And ordinarily, it was one of the things I was worried about, because he was very able to be successful if he had one shred of evidence. In truth, all he had to do was prove that Democrats on a small or medium number were cheating. And they would have like, oh, this looks suspicious. We're going to need to overturn this or get this investigated. But he walked into court with no evidence. And the evidence that existed, he didn't bring into court because it was about Republicans voting for Trump illegally. Convenient much. And just Saturday, he calls the Secretary of State and tries to bully him, telling him he's committing a crime, he should be careful, him and his lawyer are going to go to jail. All I need is 11,780 fucking votes. Sure, let me pull that out of my ass. Especially since, what the fuck is wrong with you? They already certified Georgia's election. So what is the secretary supposed to do? Find 11,780 votes and then just show up to Congress? Hey, look what I found. Don't work that way. And the Republican Party, especially the leadership, and those who follow Trump, not follow the Republican Party, because there's two types of Republicans. There's the sycophants for Donald Trump, and then there's the straight Republicans. Now, I got into an argument with a Republican on TikTok. He's telling me this is a republic, not a democracy. This is a democracy. And yes, it's a republic, but it's still a democracy. Trump's not using democracy, he's trying to destroy it. So, what the fuck you mean? It's not just a republic. But he's telling me it's just a republic. It needs to be a republic so you can make it a democracy. Huh? But it's still a democracy, fuckhead. So, long story shortened, he's a dick. But the ones that follow him that are sycophants, they're more fans than they are political. Because they're following Trump. They're not following the Republican Party. As a matter of fact, most of them don't even believe in the Republican Party's way. They just follow Trump and believe in his way. And the other ones are racists that are grateful they get to come out of the closet and be openly racist. Listen, it's not a sexual preference, dude. And ladies. And you can't tell me, I'm not a racist. Just because I follow Trump, I'm not a racist. Well, okay. Would you elect a convicted, let me be clear, not your fucking stupid ass opinions, a convicted pedophile? If he was just because he was a Republican? And don't tell me that Biden's a pedophile, okay? If he was a pedophile, do me a favor and explain to me, how was he allowed to run for office? You wouldn't be allowed to run for office if you were a convicted felon or convicted pedophile. You couldn't run for office, morons. So, he wasn't convicted, nor tried, nor anything. It's just popular opinion. Because stupid ass fucking Republicans keep claiming that he's a pedophile. Now, or child molester, whatever the fuck they kept calling him. But Trump is a flat out racist. There's one thing to call the China virus. Now, I got into this conversation with many Republicans and Democrats. The Spanish flu, technically, it would be considered racist. In the sense that you're being racist by blaming an entire culture or nationality for the virus. They're not. If I'm not mistaken, I have to look it up. But I think because it came from Spain. Now, you want to call it the China virus? That's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that because it originated in China, if that's your basis. But he called it the Kung Flu virus. He called it other stereotypical Chinese and Asian racial slurs as the virus. That's racist. It's like me calling it the black virus because it came from Africa. Yeah, no. Even calling it a Spanish flu could be perceived the same way. It depends on why you call it a Spanish flu. Like I tell my son, the basis of your actions is all that matters, not your actions. So if you do something with selfish intentions, then everything you do from that point is selfish because it's all about you, because it all goes back to you, the foundation. So if you change COVID-19 into China virus because of Chinese people, then it's a racist statement. And the mere fact that he went and called this the Kung Flu virus, that proves it's about their race, not about the area in the world it came from. Because if Chinese people were Chinese, not because they were from China, but they all migrated to that land that was called China, where they come from is Chinese, and you call it a China virus, that's because of where it comes from, not who it comes from. Because if you're going to do it from who it comes from, it should be called the bat virus, because it came from a bat, not from a Chinese person. So if you're going to call it a Kung Flu virus, you're going to call it a China virus because of the Chinese, because he he's blaming China did it, China did it, China did it. It was done in China. It wasn't like the Chinese people say, you know what, let's kill our people and everyone else. Then we'll go back to the original racial statement that every Mexican coming across the border is a criminal, a rapist, and all kinds of drug dealers. One, that's statistically impossible, okay? Because that would mean the entire country of Mexico is nothing but a big drug dealer or big drug den. And that's far from true, because more than 90% of the Mexicans that live in this country, they go to work, they go home, raise their children, go to work, come home, raise their children. There's very little, if at all, in comparison to crime from Americans versus illegal or legal Mexicans into this country. So, there's more crime committed by an American than there is by an illegal immigrant. Now that's the way it should work, since there's more Americans than there are illegal immigrants. But if they're all criminals, they should outweigh us in crime. Why don't they? Oh, that's right, because it ain't true. It's a racist statement. So, Trump followers are racist. And I'm not talking about Republicans, because there's not only Republicans that follow Dump. There's all kinds of people that follow Donald Trump. So, you follow Donald Trump, you are a racist, because you are following a racist. It's that simple. If I don't believe in what you stand for, I'm not going to promote you. Like, I don't know what Biden stands for. I really haven't dove into him for the most part. I know what he says, but I don't really know much about him in that aspect. But I don't have Biden signs everywhere. Go Biden, go Biden. The only thing I give a fuck is fuck Trump, fuck Trump. Because he's the virus that created the pandemic in this country. Because he let it loose and he did nothing to stop it. He wanted to do herd immunity. I see these ignorant fucking clowns on TikTok and even on the internet. Herd immunity. Yes, herd immunity. Let's see how that works. The number of people that have to die in the United States for herd immunity, if it's even successful, because herd immunity doesn't guarantee you're successful. Over 2 million Americans have to die for herd immunity. Not 2 million Americans you don't know, 2 million Americans you don't care about, or 2 million Americans across the land, far away from you. 2 million Americans everywhere. In New York, New Jersey, California, Texas, Bermuda, Batida, you name it, every state. People have to die. Guess what? You and your family aren't excluded. Did you know that? But these stupid fucking white people, I'm white. I get the privilege to avoid getting sick. No, you don't. Get over it. So, for the 2 million Americans, or over 2 million Americans to die for herd immunity means your family and friends get to die too. I know a lot of friends who lost a lot of family due to COVID and COVID related issues. So, what do you think? Do you think you give a fuck that your friends and family could die because they will be part of that 2 million Americans that are needed to die for herd immunity, you fucking clown? Grow a pair of balls. Man the fuck up. Put the mask on. Take the vaccine. You pussy. Scared of needles, little bitch. And it's funny. I was just watching another TikTok, and this woman made a face mask You're gonna laugh at this. Made a fake mask that it was see-through on the side of her mouth, and it was hard to see through on our side of the mask. So she could try to break the rules and look like she's not breaking the rules. Bitch, you went through the trouble to create a mask to look like you're wearing the safety mask when you're not. It'd been a whole lot easier, you silly cunt, if you just wore the safety mask. You know what? You assholes that don't believe in masks, guess what? You know when a doctor does surgery on your dumb, ignorant ass, he wears a fucking mask. The exact same mask we do. Oh. Why is that? So while he's doing the surgery on your derelict ass, he doesn't get any viruses or infections into your open wounds. And if we shouldn't wear masks because, oh, it still makes no sense. Okay, then the doctor should take them off too. Just take the gloves off. Why not? And this other TikTok was talking something that made total sense. Seatbelts, brakes, airbags. These are all requirements for our safety. Nobody likes wearing a seatbelt. How come you assholes aren't protesting seatbelts? How come you guys agree with that safety feature? But the safety feature of the mask, you're crying like a bunch of bitches. Grow a pair, step up, move on. The longer you take to follow through with this mask protocol, the longer the virus exists. So you wear the mask, get rid of the virus, take the mask off, and then you can go fuck off a cliff for all I care. But it comes down to this. I really don't care. Don't wear a mask. Stay the fuck away from me, because you're going to need a hospital bed, and not for COVID. You come near me, my child, without a mask, I will hospitalize your ass. But, you know, I digress. Ignorance is such bliss. It's easy to accept a fairy tale of lies that make you feel better. Something to fight about. Because right now, if everybody wore a mask, I got no reason to be upset. Like, yeah. No one cheers. Everybody rather boo. That's why booing is always louder than cheering. You ever listen to that in a concert or stage? The booers are so much more louder than the cheerers. So much more of them. Because it's more fun to boo than to cheer. I don't know why people are so ignorant, but my son asked me the same question. I told him because doing harm is easier than doing good. Because good requires sacrifice, like wearing a mask, a sacrifice. But saying, fuck you, I'm fighting the man, I'm fighting the power, oh, burn my bra. That's easier because they're taking, not giving. Because nobody wants to give. They want to take, take, take. So, I digress again. I have an 11-year-old, as I stated in my meetings. And you put my son in harm's way. I put you in harm's way. End of story. And I don't care who you are. I don't care what's on your hip either. I don't care what's slung over your fucking back. Because I will sling you over my back. Carry you to the hole I put you in. Just be a fucking man or woman, an adult. Wear a fucking mask, you douchebag idiot. Well, as that was said, I had a conversation, one or two videos ago about gender. Let's go into it again a little bit deeper. I don't have a problem with males, females, both, trans, gay, lesbian, bi, hetero, any of that. Okay, let me be very clear. I'm going by the science. There's only two sexes, male and female. Sexually speaking, or medically speaking, there's only two sexes. Not even my opinion. If you come up with a third sex and get enough people to make it official, by all means. But it's hard to say you can do that because do you have a penis or a vagina? Or both? But those organs still belong to a sex. So if you have a penis, you're a male. If you have a vagina, you're a female. If from the waist up you have breasts instead of a chest like men, that's not what makes you a woman. Because what about those flat-chested women that have no breasts? So those are not women. The one thing that makes a woman physically is the vagina or pussy, whatever you want to call it. You have that? Well, then you're a female. You don't have it? Well, then you're a male. Well, if you have a penis. If you don't have any sexual organ, you just have a tube you pee out of, I don't know what sex to call that. Now, if we were going to go by direct science, if you have way more Y in you than you do X, well, one's male, one's female. There isn't another chromosome. It's either X or Y. So, you're welcome to call yourself whatever you want. I won't tell you not to. Because, hey, you can call yourself a monkey for all I care. But the science is very specific. There's two sexes, male and female, because it's a Y and X chromosome. So you find me another one that makes you up a different sex than male or female. I'm with you. If not, I'm with science. Well, either way, I'm with science. So science says, and I'm not talking about scientists, and even though science is made up by scientists, but the science says there's two sexes, male and female, X and Y. I'm sorry. For those of you that want to be pansexual or bisexual or trisexual or quadsexual, you want to be unique? Just be you. Why do you need a unique label? Why do you need a label at all? I don't consider myself pan. I don't consider myself gay, bi, or heterosexual. I like women. That's it. But science says that makes me heterosexual because I don't like men. I didn't say that though. They did. And they mean science. Agreed upon science. But scientifically, there's only an X and a Y. Give me another chromosome, makes you a different sex, not male nor female. And I'm with you. And that's a little further take on it. But, you know what doesn't fucking matter? I don't care if you're male, female, pansexual, transsexual, bisexual, quadsexual, tranny, trans, all the other terms. And I'm sorry if any of those terms are considered derogatory. I'm not all 100% involved with it, but you all deserve the same rights as me. And I'm not just saying me as a white man. Me, period. You and I should have the exact same rights to marry who we want. Not necessarily what we want, but hey, you want to marry a fucking bush? All for it. Now, should you want to marry anything that's not a human being, that thing can't be given human rights if it's not a human. Meaning, it doesn't have a right to tax cuts and money of its own. Not until it ascends to our level. If it's a dog and he or she becomes our level intelligence and understanding of the world around it, by all fucking means, give it a job, give it money, give it taxes, let it have children. I don't care. But something that cannot function in society, that's going to come back to bite me, should not be given the right to be treated as a human being. I'm sorry. Backlash. You see, I don't have to worry about backlash because nobody ever follows to the end of my videos. So I can almost say whatever I want here at the end because nobody listens. Oh well, their loss. They get a reason to be mad. Fight the power. Fight the power. I'ma do this. So it's always about fighting somebody. How could we call ourselves a peaceful nation? Everybody wants to fight. I argue because there's something to argue about that has a strong value for me. Like those who support the Republican Party or those who support Trump. To them, it's a valid reason, valid fight. Fight the power. So I ain't mad that they found something to believe in. Am I mad what they believe in? Oh, fuck yeah. But they found something to fight for. But they don't see the negative. You're wanting to kill your own American citizens, friends, neighbors, all because they disagree with your belief. See, and this whole thing that Trump won, and they keep saying it, that's not a fact. That's a belief. I believe Jesus had a mustache and a goatee. How the fuck would I know? But I'm not going to tell you Jesus had a mustache and a goatee. Shit, I'm not going to tell you Jesus is real. Because I never met him. I'm going to tell you the book says he exists. Do I follow that book? No. Do I own one? No. So, when you're willing to die for a belief, I'm sorry, you're blind. Good or bad belief, you're still blind. See, my beliefs have facts to back them up. So they're not really beliefs so much as I believe in my facts. And my facts are, you lost, Donald. Walk away. So the facts are he lost. That's not a belief. It's already waiting as of today or tomorrow for the Senate to do the ceremonial, okay, and on the 20th, Biden takes over. These are the facts. Donald Trump is trying to twist the facts. Different story. And those who believe he should change the facts, they're corrupt in their heart and in their mind. And I pity them. I wish them well, but I pity them. And I'm sorry they feel that way. And like I said, I'm not a Biden fan. I know very little about him. But I know enough about Donald Trump that I want out. And I want him out. Okay? Everybody else in the world took this virus serious, except him. And his stupid ass friends. And it makes no sense when the facts are in front of you and you flat out deny them. Then you're not a fact believer. You believe whatever you believe. My father is one of those people. He doesn't believe in Trump, but he believes in what he believes, not the facts. Like, he believes it should be illegal, or it is illegal, and can't believe it's not illegal, for whatever it is. And no matter what facts you show him, his answer is, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. He told me numerous times, you're not a doctor, so neither the fuck are you, bitch. And the doctor told me this. Oh, she don't know what she's talking about. All because they disagree with him. Just like Donald Trump. You disagree with him, you're stupid. And all he wants you to agree with is that he's king, you're his peasant, and now he gets to be a king. I don't want a king. And I won't let anyone be king. you're going to have to take me out first. And I'm not meaning out to dinner. So, I bow to one thing, my own moral code and constitution, which basically is our constitution, except for a lot of the details, like, how our constitution says slavery was a good thing. No, disagree. I know it's been amended, but the original written constitution had slavery in it. So, not with you. Anyway, my moral code is unbreakable. Just like my word is unbreakable unless you break yours. And that's the way it should be. That's the way I teach my son. It's too bad morals have lost their meaning. On that note, take this job and shove it. Sure, you ain't working here no more.